Hello everyone. So today we are going to see again a topic known as honeypot. So what exactly honeypot is, and we are going to see what are the different categories or different types of honeypot. Other than that, we will see some properties of honeypot. Okay, so let's get started. So honeypot is nothing but what exactly it is. So when it comes to network security, honeypot is nothing but security, kind of a security or being attacked by a source of an organization. So it's nothing but a trap, which is there in a particular organization to detect the attacker which is attacking to the organizations, just like a firewall. You can assume it, right? So what exactly the term or the terminology says that a resource or a value is being attacked or compromised is nothing but a trap to detect an intrusion in the system. Intrusion is nothing but an attack which gets when an attacker attacks to a particular organization. So it's look like just an internal organization or an internal system has been there, but it is nothing but an replica of it, so that it we can easily uh, fool an attacker that is an internal organization, but it's nothing but a kind of a trap. Okay, it is designed to attack the attacker by masquerading as high value target with weak deafnesses. Okay, so it's nothing but it is attack in a designer format, so that attacker knows that yeah, it is an internal system or an internal organization, but it is nothing but a trap for an or a attacker or kind of hacker. Okay, use for catching both internal and external malicious activity. Yeah, so honeypot is designed basically if some of the internal user are trying to attack or trying to hack a system. So it's just like a kind of a fake screen or a fake system that you can easily detect who is the attacker from the internal organization or within an organization or outside an organization. So it's a basic concept of honeypot. So based on this, we have two different categories of honeypot. So the types of honeypots are, again, there are two types, that is high interaction and low interaction. And when we talk about the categories, we have production and research based. Okay, so moving further, we'll see the detail about what is exactly high interaction. Okay, so high interaction is nothing but using full functionality of the host. So it's just that having a security and having a references to a higher level. Okay, so usually we uses virtual machine for the testing purpose. So why? Because obviously cost, then convenient to use, as well as security. So usually we are uh, constructing this kind of a honeypot in a high interaction level in a virtual machine. Okay, default for an hacker to identify, sorry, difficult for an hacker to identify. Obviously the high interaction means what? It involves cost effective, right? So when you are designing such kind of a honeypot, so the attacker think that it is an actual organization. So it's nothing but giving a overview or a fake id or a fake frame of high interaction level at that cost. Complex and resources intensity to develop and maintain. Obviously when it comes to high interaction level, so the difficulty for creating such kinds of honeypot is very complex, and the resources which we are using to deploy that and for maintain that is very high as compared to the others. Okay, similarly when low, it is a low interaction, so it stimulates a service as a host. Okay, it's again, it is based on the software, easy to deploy rather than for high interaction honeypots, easily detectable by a live body hacker. So again, as you can say the name itself, it's a low interaction means what? The budget configuration is low, the software facilities which we are using, which will be on low basis, so hacker can easily crack it out. So again, this can be used for your practice purpose or for low level organization, or where else your budget is not at that end. So you can use such kinds of honeypot, or for testing purpose basically low interaction honeypots are used. Okay, then moving further, we have production of honeypot. So how it has been produced, the fully production system integrated into a network. Obviously the honeypot is used to fake the attackers. So obviously the production or the construction of the honeypot is within an integrated system or a network or an organization, yes, designed to detect attacks. Obviously this is nothing but a kind of an prevention intrusion system, right? So obviously it is used to design so that we can detect who is the attacker, what exactly the activities he is performing at that end. Okay, next point is often low interaction honeypot. So yes, for the production basis we use low interaction honeypots for the construction, useful for caching automated malware. So again, for caching purpose, for detecting the malware activity, we will definitely go with honeypot. So yeah, moving further, yeah, we have research based honeypots as well. Why we are using research based, as we know that many of the scientists or many of the organization, we have separate department for research one, right, for research purpose. So basically when your system is not full fledged live, right, or your organization is under developing stage, right, so why to invest such a huge amount in that high interaction honeypot? So we have again other categories for that, that is research honeypot, used for research threat on a system. Obviously when you want to perform intentionally that what kind of attack you can be detect with the help of honeypot, so you can use research based honeypot over there. In theory allows an hacker to break into the system and study what they do. They break into the system, they will check, okay, what exactly the activities are performed, what exactly the information can be stolen, and how we can prevent it. So this all activity we can perform on research based honeypot. Then we have a very complexity to deploy and maintain. Again, the next point is mainly used by government, military, or research institution. Obviously most of our government projects and military projects, as well as the research or some institute which are under research or doing a research, they use such kinds of honeypot, research honeypot kind of a thing, right? So this is all about research honeypot. Then moving further, what exactly the structure is, so I would like to explain the structure in detail. Hope the screen is visible. So what exactly honeypot is doing in it, so where exactly it is being constructed or where it has been implanted. Okay, so this is nothing but a LAN switch, right? So LAN switch is connected with different kind of a server. It can be an internal network as well as a database server, and to this we have an honeypot. Okay, so it is done with a DMZ. DMZ is a demilitarization zone. Okay, so it is attached over here. So why because whenever the attacker is performing in kind of an attack, so that honeypot can easily get into the system. Obviously these are connected to the LAN, the attacker will perform an attack on the LAN, but again we have external firewall so that we can protect to it. Okay, then the other things are connected to, again in an internal structure. You can see there are router connected, there are different services like as web database, mailing database, DNS server, and again you can attack through a router as well, you can attack through a LAN connectivity as well, or you can directly attack from the internet. But all things are being protected with the demilitarization zone which is present in an organization, so that attacker can easily be detected or the malware can be easily detected. Why? Because there are external firewalls as well. So whenever the attacker trying to perform an attack, again with the help of a firewall, it gives a burst or a kind of a message or kind of an alert to an admin of the organization or any of the security team of there, so that the security team will come up with what exactly malicious activity the attacker is performing, and have a track of it. We will check the logs of it and easily it can be detected. Okay, so this is the overall honeypot structure, or you can say architecture of it. Moving further, what are exactly are the advantages of honeypot? So obviously, from this we have come to an end that honeypot is used to track the attacker, to trap it, to check or to monitor their activity, and with the help of that we can understand the behavior of an attacker. So, and what exactly the activities they are going to perform it, so we can have a research study of the human behavior or an attacker behavior. So what exactly they are wanting from an organization, so this can be easily tracked with the concept of honeypot. So yeah, we'll see some advantages over here. One of the key advantage of establishing honeypot is this its simplicity. So obviously we are dealing with simple things rather than using IDS or IPS. We usually prefer, after firewall we can install a honeypot to secure our system. The second advantage of honeypot is a small data collection. So yeah, this can you take it as an advantage that a honeypot collects a small amount of data. And the third advantage is cost. Yeah, rather than installing IDS, that is intrusion detection system, or IPS, so it's better to use honeypot. Why? Because of the lower cost. Okay, some similar version can be downloaded for free as well. It's sorry, it's by mistake, it's free. Okay, so yeah, so this is all about the honeypot. So yes, every concept has its pros as well as cons. So moving further, what exactly the disadvantages of honeypots are? So the disadvantages of honeypot, yeah, is that it is monitoring the narrow field, okay, of view. Means what, it will not capture your whole organization. If you're installing a honeypot to a LAN connection, just we have seen in the diagram, so it will only check the ports or the devices or within the organization to a particular connectivity. Mostly if there are 15 computers and connected to a single LAN cable over there, or some connecting devices, and there you have installed a honeypot, so it will check or have a view on that particular limit only. So if you're connected to a router, so it will check the devices which are connected to router at that moment only. So the range of honeypot is somehow a drawback over here, that you have a narrow field of view over there. Then moving to a honeypot can only see activity detected against. It will not take any action against them. It will only monitor what exactly the attacker is doing to that particular system. So yeah, it will only just like a screen recording kind of a thing, it will record the things what exactly the user is doing. If he is performing an activity, he can just have a track of it, that he is doing that, who is doing that. He will give an report to us that this is the activity which was attacker trying to do. So again, it will detect the activity, but it cannot prevent the activity. For prevention purpose, obviously we will require some other kinds of systems like IPS, that is intrusion prevention systems. We will see that sooner only. But these are some disadvantages of honeypot. Yeah, the third is advantages is honeypot is at risk. Obviously it is a freely available source as well, so most of the honeypot are free also. So might be the attacker can get to know that it is freely available, or it can be a tendency that yeah, within an organization, if there is a small business organization or whatever, so definitely there will be a honeypot. There will be again chances of breaking that honeypot is more over here. So these are the some quite disadvantages of honeypots. So hope you have gone through many of the concept, what exactly the honeypot is, what exactly the architecture of honeypot is, why it is used, what are the different categories of honeypots. This all you can see, you can just go through it, you can watch the video again. So hope this is all about honeypot and your concepts are clear. Thank you.